this on TV.
Thanks, we didn't know.
What is it?
Don't you want to teach if you didn't bring something for everybody?
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Chairman Samaras,
Present.
Counsel Leahy,
Here.
Counsel Leary.
Present.
3 present.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Mabry for coming tonight before us to make a presentation. Before I introduce Dr. Mabry, I'd like to just give our audience a little bit of a background for Dr. Mabry. He currently leads an innovative team of dedicated to providing transformational educational opportunities for the more than 9,000 diverse students who attend Middlesex Community College, with campuses in Bedford and Lowell, Mass. Dr. Mabry grew up outside of Rochester, New York, attended Bowling Green State University in Ohio, and later completed his Bachelor of Arts degree at Columbia University. He taught social studies in New York City public high schools. I knew that's why we had a bond doctor. That was my major. And later taught U.S. history and economics at Dutchess Community College in Poughkeepsie, New York. He served as academic dean at Palm Beach State College in Florida and as vice president of academic affairs at Mesa Community College in Arizona. On February 16, 2015, Dr. Mabry began his service as the 4th president of Middlesex Community College. Dr. Mabry holds a PhD in U.S. history from Columbia University and a Master of Science degree from the London School of Economics. Again, Dr. Mabry, we want to welcome you to, and thank you for coming before the subcommittee. What we try to do in the subcommittee is really give our constituents information. And by your coming before us to talk about the Rialto and programs that you have at Middlesex, this provides the people of Lowell some very good information. And I see many faces that I do know and some people I don't. But the thing is, do you want to introduce them now or do you want to introduce them? Okay. Actually, Dr. Mabry, before you begin, at one of the meetings, you also do some interesting things. Can you tell our constituents a little bit about perhaps your travels around the Grand Canyon and some of those issues? Is your microphone on?
There we go.
Green?
Green light now?
Yes.
Okay. Living in Arizona, you have to visit the Grand Canyon. And when I got there, I really wanted to see it from one side to the other. So with 3 friends, I set out at 5:30 in the morning one day to hike from rim to rim. 24 miles, 9,000 feet of elevation change. That was one of the longest 10-hour days of my life. And but it was a spectacular day in terms of the beauty of the canyon, the majesty of it, and just the sheer size of it. When you actually walk from rim to rim, you really see the whole thing, and it was a spectacular day.
I think it's great. You do have a diverse background, and I think it's good that people understand who Dr. Mabry is. Doctor, the program's yours.
Great. Thank you, Councilman Samaras. It's really a privilege to be here tonight, and it's always a pleasure to work with you, somebody who always supports education. I'm sorry I didn't get here in time to work with you as headmaster of Lowell High School, but it really, I can tell that you're somebody that supports education in and out, and Councilman Leahy and Leary, it's a pleasure to be here tonight with you as well. I will introduce my team as we go along through the presentation, and we'll try to give you some information about the college here in a nice brief format. So we're starting out with a picture of the city building, or now the Cowan building, in the center of our campus there. We own or operate 9 buildings in Lowell, just over 302,000 square feet. On our Bedford campus, we have 13 buildings on about 200 acres with about 229,000 square feet. We have over 700 full and part-time employees and about 435 full-time employees at the college. Okay, next slide. We really want to emphasize tonight the power of partnerships in this community as we all work with limited resources and work together to really make this the best place possible. Our enrollment is about 9,000, about 4,500 on each campus. We get about 2,500 a year from Lowell High School. We're connected to Lowell Public Schools, not just the high school, in many different ways. The fourth slide in the packet is really in a font too small to put up there, but it really does list a lot of the programs that we have with the school systems. We work closely with Lowell Public Schools to make sure that students are career and college ready when they complete and when they graduate so that they can get a job or they can move straight into college level courses. But for students, for one reason or another, are unsuccessful in the Lowell High School, many of our students have some very difficult lives. We operate the Lowell Middlesex Academy Charter School, or Lowell LMAX, on Middle Street. It serves just over 100 students. It's smaller, more nurturing environment, and it's really a place where students can regroup and begin to move forward again. We also work closely with Project Learn, which is an innovative public-private partnership in this city that really seeks to strengthen the Lowell Public School system. Through Project Learn, Lowell Public Schools, Middlesex Community College, and UMass Lowell are working together to strengthen the education ecosystem in Lowell so that more students achieve a college education and that Lowell moves up in the rankings of the percentage of the population with college degrees. As we all know, this is really a key economic development issue, as employers are always looking for a skilled workforce, and they're looking for communities where there are good school systems. And here in Lowell, where we have all the major players working together, we can help make a difference in Lowell. So there is real power in working together, and MCC is engaged with many other community organizations to make Lowell a community where education matters. So at this point, I wanted to move this over to Patrick Cook, our Public Safety and Community Relations Director, to give you a little information on a few programs.
Good evening, councilors. Thank you for having us. I get to talk about the fun part of the Middlesex Community College experience, the community part in our middle name. There are a number of different programs we do that do outreach to partners beyond just our educational partners, and I just want to highlight a few of them for you. As you know, we've been in the city now for 30 years, and a lot of these partnerships are long-standing and have been with us since day one. A lot of them are newer partnerships, and we try to be a good partner to a lot of the nonprofits that come to our facility looking for meeting space, but also for members to sit on their their advisory boards. Throughout the college, the president has encouraged folks to join in on these community groups. But there's several community-based programs specifically that we do like to highlight. I know a number of you over the course of years have been involved in one form or another with our the Paul Sullivan Leadership Institute, which is coming up on its 9th year. The newest class of students just started last week. But that's a group of students that we try to cultivate as future leaders. And I know some of you have met them over the course of their travels. But each of them now, it is now accredited course working through the provost and one of our faculty members that the students who attend this Leadership Institute are getting college credits for a Leadership in Action class. And as part of that class, they have to do a community outreach program. And as a capstone for an outcome at the end of their class, they present to the advisory board. So just for example, last year's class, some of the community projects they did just here in Lowell, they collected more than 200 books to donate to the Lowell Day Nursery program. Another student took on a task to raise more than $1,000 to support low-income housing opportunities at the Duville Life and Wellness Center. Another one led a winter clothing drive for new immigrant arrivals, and each of them are encouraged in September to take on a community project that gives back. So we should be hearing from this new crop of students within the next few weeks on what they plan to work on over the next couple of semesters. But as well as the Paul Sullivan group, which is a small cohort of only about a dozen students, we have a very active student government and leadership and engagement programs, and they also support numerous activities here in the community. Just a few of the most recent examples, they've supported the Salvation Army's Winter Wishes program. They collected hundreds of toys and clothing, which they then helped distribute to families. Our Helping Hands Club raised $1,000 for the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, which we also supported with their inaugural race a couple of weeks ago at the Lasher. The student clubs and organizations have also completed over 2,000 hours of community service to other organizations. And before the semester even started, some of our newest students volunteered to work at the Merrimack Valley Food Bank's Operation Nourish, collaboration with the Lowell Public Schools. So we're very proud of those partnerships because the students really make us shine when they get out there and represent us, but we're also just as proud of the staff and faculty who represent us on these various boards. But another partnership that's reflected here that we are very proud of as well is the partnership we've had with the Lowell Police Academy, which came to our campus in 2004. At the time, President Cowan and President Mabry has since continued. We donate 2 classrooms to the Police Academy on the first floor of our city campus at the Cowan Center. And they have trained, since they've been on our campus, they've trained over 600 men and women to go to over 24 different police departments throughout Middlesex and Essex counties, with about 60 plus of those student officers coming directly here to the city of Lowell. And we, again, we offer that at no cost, and it's a great partnership because it integrates the student officers directly into our student population on campus as well. So it's been a very successful and tremendous partnership from the get-go. So we're very proud of that as well.
No, thank you, Mr. Cook. I also have to say, Dr. Mabry, Pat Cook, when he also worked for the police department, is in charge of communications. It was at a time when the high school really needed good communications with the Lowell Police Department, and it was carried out very well. And so, I mean, it's evident that this is happening here at Middlesex. Thank you.
Yes, and that's a little bit close to my family in the sense that in 17 days, I will have a son-in-law that's a second-year police officer in Montgomery County, Maryland. I get informed every day what the count is. It's coming up soon, though. My tux is ready. I'm ready to go. Okay. Moving on to the next, I'd like to introduce Judy Burke, who's the Executive Director of Corporate and Community Education and also Institutional Advancement. She'll talk a little bit more about some of the programs in her area, if she gets over the sirens.
I can talk over them, I think. I just want to say how grateful...
Your system on?
I think it is. The green light's on.
Okay.
Maybe the sirens are a lot louder than I thought they were. I just want to say how grateful I am to be here today as someone who grew up in Lowell. I've never been in these chambers, so I'm very excited to be here and to present corporate education training to you today. Has anyone ever heard about corporate education training at the community college? Have any of you heard about it? Okay, great. That's one. Good. We are essentially a revenue-generating arm that operates within the community college. There are 15 community colleges in the state of Massachusetts. There are 15 organizations like Corporate and Community Education and Training. And we essentially bring training to our employer partners, much like any training vendor would do. Training like English as a second language, leadership skills, lean manufacturing, really you name it, we can bring it. And if we can't, we'll find a vendor that can. We'll partner with the University at Mass Lowell. We'll partner with our vocational school partners, and we look deep within our own resources at Middlesex Community College to find the right instructor to match with the employer. A number of employers in the city of Lowell have taken advantage of this service. Organizations like Enterprise Bank, Jeanne d'Arc, Lowell General Hospital, Maycom, Washington Savings Bank, Watermark Environmental, and Duval Manor. Some of them have taken advantage of Workforce Training Fund grants, and those grants are administered through Commonwealth Corporation. There's $21 million that's entrusted in that fund, and it essentially belongs to employers that pay into the unemployment tax fund. We encourage employers to work with us to write those grants. We have professional grant writers that come right into the company site, act as a partner to the employer, along with a program manager from Corporate Education and Training. we've been able to bring millions of dollars into not just the city of Lowell, but our region through the Workforce Training Fund grants. So if there are employers that have a need for training, we would strongly encourage you to reach out to the community college to look into that and to have us work with them. The other side of the house is through community education and training, and one of the programs we wanted to highlight was our College for Kids. We have about 500 8 through 15-year-olds on both our campuses during July and August. Our summer camps are academically oriented, aviation, veterinary, fashion design. They're really amazing. If you ever get an opportunity to come on campus to see them, I think you'll be really impressed to see all these young people, all with the same t-shirts, all on the community college campus and learning all summer long. Our non-credit open enrollment programs are exactly what they're attest to be. They're through our non-credit open enrollment catalog. I brought some materials for you. I'll give them to you at the end of the session. But essentially, they're oriented toward people who are either underemployed or unemployed to try to get them back to work. So programs like project management, the SHRM program for HR managers, Excel certificate program, Microsoft computer applications, nurse assistant. We offer all that through our open enrollment program in the evening. And again, I would encourage the citizens of Lowell to take advantage of those programs, whether you're unemployed or underemployed. I think they speak to everyone. Or in some cases, you just want to go back to and have a little bit of fun. We have some programs that are personal enrichment. We work with restaurants and organizations that do like the Art of Cheese and a variety of different programs that we think that the community enjoys as well. And then another program that isn't listed here, but I felt was important to talk to you about, was the Northeast Advanced Manufacturing Program. We work very closely with the Greater Lowell Workforce Investment Board, the Greater Lowell Career Center, and Greater Lowell Technical High School to run a program through the Northeast Advanced Manufacturing Consortium, where we train 24 individuals at a time in machining and electronics, and essentially put unemployed workers back to work in advanced manufacturing. If you want to learn anything about that program, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it after the program. But we think it really merits. It's a regional program. We work with North Shore, Northern Essex community colleges, and all of their vocational school partners and Workforce Investment Board partners and career centers.
Thank you, Ms. Burke.
Thank you.
Welcome to City Hall.
Thank you.
I'd also like to say that Councilor Rita Mercy is here and Councilor Jim Milanazzo. Thank you, Dr. Mabry.
Great, thank you. And next up is our Chief Administrative Officer, Colleen Cox, who acts as a campus manager and also really does a lot of our logistics for major events on the campus. She's somebody who knows how to get things done. So many of you know just how bad the federal building looked when MCC took it over. And the college invested heavily in that building, and it opened in 2004. It's not just a functional space, it is a beautiful space. And I think that shows the kind of work and care we put into historic buildings. Colleen will tell you more about this jewel.
So unlike Judy, this is not my first time in this building, so I thank you very much for welcoming me back. Yes, the federal building is 40,000 square feet. It houses, if you have not been there, I would really encourage you to come visit. It is our Lowell library. We have faculty offices. We have a new student meditation and reflection center. We have 9 classrooms, including a very large art studio, which will at some point move over to the Boston and Maine. We have our assembly room, which I know many of you have been to events there. It seats auditorium style, about 100, 120 folks in that room. And then we have a courtroom up on the 3rd floor that is a boardroom that fits about 36 people. We offer our space at all times to our community partners. I work closely with the folks that call that are looking to either get off-site from the Lowell School Department. Some of the departments here in City Hall enjoy possibly having a larger group or a speaker. So I just want to talk about some examples that we use our facility for, both the Federal Building and the Cowan Center. Community Teamwork has their annual day-long professional day. The District Attorney's Office, along with the Police Department, use it for their monthly meetings. We host weekly AA, NA, and Smart Recovery on our campus. The Lowell Community Health Center, the Teen Block, the annual Center for Health and Healing, RARA, the Live and Learn programs are there every week taking classes. We host the Lowell Plan Annual Awards Ceremony, Public Matters graduation, full-day workshops for the National Park, and meeting space for Mill City Grows. But specific to the city of Lowell, we have, the Lowell School Department has used our space for the annual refugee conference that happens every year in May. The DPD meetings and trainings, they use the space. The Cultural Office of Lowell, they also use the space. I'm sure you've been, Mr. Samaras, the Latin Lyceum. We have their awards program every year. So what we really want to say is that our space we have some great space, both in the Federal Building, in our cafeterias, and our meeting space in the Cowan Center, and we're open to allowing folks to use it free of charge, and definitely using it when they want to go off to another site. I think we're welcoming, and people really enjoy being there. So if you have not been there, I would really encourage you to do so.
Ms. Colleen, thank you for the presentation, but also gives me my chance to say, Dr. Mabry, Colleen Cox had a lot to do with many programs coming in from Middlesex that was started at the high school, and she was our go-to person, and also at the time did a lot of writing of the grants, and that made our high school successful. So thank you, Colleen. Dr. Mabry.
I just want to give one sort of personal fact there. When I interviewed for this job, I thought it was interesting that the first part of the interview was held in the courtroom. Okay? All right. So moving right along here, we're going to talk a bit about vocational and technical education at the college. About 15% of our students come into the college looking to get a degree or certificate that'll lead directly to a job. We don't do plumbing, although that's a really good profession, and the Greater Lowell Technical High School does wonderful programs in that, but that's not the type of program that we do at the community college. What we do at the MCC is really help build a workforce for the 21st century high-tech economy in this Commonwealth. Let me give you a couple examples, and then I'm going to turn it over to Phil Sisson, the provost, to provide more details. We have on Middle Street our biotechnology program, where a degree will lead to not just a good job, but a great career. We have an 100% placement rate with that program. It means every student graduating from that program gets at least one job offer. Then we have to keep them in the program because they often get offers when they're doing their internships. But they're not there just to get a degree. Most of them, after they get a job, go on to get additional degrees. But this is no easy program. You take 5 semesters of biology, 3 semesters of chemistry, 2 semesters of math. This is vocational and technical education in the 21st century. This is training that workforce for a high-tech economy. Now, Phil Sisson, our Provost and Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs, will tell you more about STEM education at MCC.
Great, thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here with you this afternoon again to highlight some of the work at the college. As you know, the college has over 75 programs, both certificate and associate degrees, that are available to the citizens of Lowell and to anyone within the citizenry of Massachusetts. And being one of the 15 community colleges, and I've now had the opportunity to work at at 2 others of those colleges within the state. I would say that Lowell is very well served by Middlesex Community College and the quality of education. We have 152 full-time faculty and over 630 part-time faculty that work at the institution, and many of those full-time and part-time faculty are residents in the local area, specifically in Lowell, and again, many of the part-time faculty are out working in the field that they are teaching in when they come in to teach our students either in the day or in the evening. Middle Street is really our health and STEM area. It really addresses for us some of the most high-demand programs in the Commonwealth. That includes in the Derby and Talbot building and Apollo building specifically, those areas like health, our nursing program, both a day and an evening program, and a part-time program for folks who are returning to school after getting some education and want to make sure that they have their BSN eventually to be able to move on. So we have a large nursing program. Over 181 students are in that nursing program, and that nursing program is based in Lowell. We have an Academy of Health Professions that helps to train students to be able to become phlebotomists, medical office assistants, and that program is designed to be off semester, so those students can come in at any particular time during the year and work over the shorter period of time of about 10 weeks, and then immediately get back out into the economy for employment, and then return and use those credits to scaffold to go on in the health professions. We have a number of really important dental hygiene and dental assisting, our dental lab technology program, our medical lab tech program, and our medical assisting programs are all on Middle Street, and all have students that are very committed to the work that they're doing, and oftentimes those students will go on to a baccalaureate degree, even though they are in what we would consider a terminal or career degree for them. They go on and get their bachelor's degree, and all of those credits are fully transferable as they advance within that program. The STEM programs in Lowell have grown over time. They are not only in our Derby and Talbot buildings on Middle Street, but also the STEM programs have grown into our area in the Pollard building. We have, as the president has mentioned, a very robust biotechnology program that's got 178 students enrolled. We have a $3 million bioscience lab tech program that we have to figure out exactly what we're going to do with a grant to revise those biotechnology labs that we have that need to be updated. There are about 29 credit certificate programs that are stacked within that associate's degree. There's an enrollment of 178, 150 are in a regular associate's degree program in biotechnology, and there are 28 students that are in that certificate program. And those students, again, immediately can go out into the workforce and then come back and complete their associate's degree and then advance on, and oftentimes specifically at UMass Lowell. Also on Middle Street, life and physical science. The enrollments in there are about 188 in life sciences and 48 in physical sciences. Credits that work within the life sciences and physical sciences all align with UMass Lowell's majors. We've just added some organic chemistry to make sure that our students have smooth and clear transfer pathways. We have 2 really new and hot areas that we're talking about. One is cybersecurity that the president has mentioned, with a brand new program with an enrollment of 99 students already, with a total of IT enrollment in Lowell of 132 students. That's a 60-credit associate's degree that's fully transferable. It's also a cybersecurity program that was developed in collaboration with industry to conform to what we call NICE standards, the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education. That was developed jointly by the National Security Agency and the Department of Homeland Security. So it's one of the only cybersecurity associate degree programs in the state at this time. It's one of the only certificate programs, and again, students can begin a certificate and then go on and advance into an associate's degree. We also offer a secure software development in our computer science program. That enrollment is around 50. Computer science total enrollment is around 332 between both campuses. And again, it's another program that is fully transferable to our partners, most specifically UMass Lowell. So the programs that we offer around cybersecurity, our students are going to be able to immediately embed a lot of the cybersecurity lessons that they've learned in all of their IT work, but more specifically, they're working out of 2 brand new labs that have been developed in our Pollard building. We would welcome you to come over and see them. Students are actually working with cybersecurity technology and working on servers and looking at how and doing simulations around hacking and all of the other issues that we know that we're dealing with in our society today. So we welcome anyone to come and see those labs and learn more about the programs.
And As
That's
we've,
terrific, thank you.
as we've heard, you know, in the last couple of weeks with major hacks into Yahoo, and I hope nobody had a Yahoo account here, this problem is not going to go away, and nor is the need for people with the skills to prevent it. So we think that this is be a program that will really endure for a long time. And again, these are good jobs in a knowledge-based economy.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on. I know you're all thinking, what's going on with this building? But I want to reassure you that all is going according to the really original plan for this. This is really a state or DCAM project, and every step of the way has been approved by Mass Historic. All right, they had to sign off on all of this that was done with the building. And where it is now, we knew from the beginning this is what we had to do with the building. This is a $20 million project that will have a huge impact on this part of the city. And I want to assure you that this will be a beautiful building when it's completed in late 2017. Think about the federal building, all right? We have committed significant resources into this, and we want to make that route into downtown Lowell look really special. This will bring much-needed business into the area, and this building will contain a 180-seat theater that will be the home to some of our performing arts departments. We'll be expanding that department. This houses theater, dance, and music, and the building will also be a valuable community resource. I stopped by the site yesterday, and you can actually see where they are now pouring parts of the foundation for the theater section in it. We call it the egg. They're really building an egg-shaped theater within that building. It'll connect to the outside walls when it's done. But they're no longer digging away back there. They're now actually pouring and building forms, and it really shows that the progress is coming along. We are on track right now for an opening, as I said, in late 2017, and we'll try to make sure that this is an appropriate spectacle to show off this building, the college, and the great city it's located in. There's some new slides. We just got these pictures today of some renderings of what the buildings, what it'll look like when it is completed. So that it really should be quite a gorgeous site down there. So just hold on, it's coming. It'll look great when it's done. Now, I also wanted to bring you up to date that really the college is facing numerous challenges, just like the city. We're in an era of declining enrollment caused by both macroeconomic and demographic factors. We see declining state support. We have rising costs, particularly in our labor contracts, particularly in our benefits packages that are rising precipitously. And we see really a lot of increasing competition for the limited number of students. This is all leading to a lot of pressure on our budget and really a constant struggle to do more with less. I know you don't have those problems here in the city, but it's something, you know, we all share. But speaking of that, we recognize then that really partnerships are more valuable than ever, and that working together is really a key to our future. We're honored to be here tonight. We want to thank Councilman Samaras, Councilman Leahy, Councilman Leary, and also Councilman Milanazzo and Councilwoman Mercier. This is only, what, the second time this week we've been in the room together? Okay, it's a slow week. So, you know, we run into each other all the time out in the community. So at this point, I want to turn it over to another very incredible resource that we have at the college. I don't think this man needs any introduction, Mr. Jim Campbell.
Thank you, President Mabry. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, committee, for inviting us. I too have been in this building more than once. Had the opportunity to serve as assistant city manager for 8 years and city manager for 5 years. I also had the honor of working with the late Senator Paul Saugus and the late Senator Paul Sheedy, along with Governor Michael Dukakis, to help them bring First Community College here to the city of Lowell. 1987. They came in and settled in a small classroom on I had no idea of the economic role they would play in the city of Lowell, and I think all of the speakers this evening have talked about those various roles. In addition to providing well-educated individuals to local area businesses, as President Mabry mentioned, we employ several hundred employees. A recent study by Lowell showed that our institution provides millions of dollars to the economy here in the city of Lowell and in the Lowell and Bedford area in terms of payroll, construction, student and faculty spending. I want to reemphasize what the President said earlier about relationships, and that's what community colleges are all about. We have very strong relationships in the area we service, but particularly in the Lowell area. We work very closely with city government. We work very closely with the Lowell plan and cultivate those relationships. We work very closely with an organization called the Middlesex 3 Coalition, of which your city manager is a member of the board of directors. It's a group of businesses along Route 3, including Lowell, Chelmsford, and the other communities, to work together to try and provide jobs, work on transportation, education, and other areas. We also have a strong relationship with groups like UTEC that have blossomed here in the city of Lowell and now have a state and national reputation. We try and work with some of those individuals and actually have students that go through, individuals that go through their program that work with us at the college. We have a very strong relationship with Lowell Community Health Center, which has been cultivated over a period of time. Lowell General Hospital, we have a very strong working relationship. The University of Lowell, I was talking to a person involved in high tech, and they reminded me that in order to have high tech, which the University of Mass Lowell is well noted for, you need low tech, and we certainly provide a number of individuals that in that capacity. We also have a strong relationship with Lowell High School, as the chairman I'm sure knows. We have what's called the dual enrollment program, that actually allows students at Lowell High School to take college courses. We have had some students from area high schools that have actually completed their associate's degree while they're still in high school, which is really an amazing feat. We also work very closely with a number of other organizations. Project Learn, the president is directly involved in that organization. They see the future need for private industry to provide funding for local education. They're talking about public education at the lower levels. We see that as well. I want to be brief and to say that not only do we provide a pathway to a four-year education for residents in Lowell, that we're also sometimes a school of last resort, and I think the president mentioned that. There are students that sometimes go off to college and do not do as well as they should have. They return to the city and without direction, and many end up at Middlesex for a very short period of time and get back on track. And in closing, I'd just like to say that I think all of us are aware that Lowell is a role model for other gateway cities in the state. I don't think there's any question about that. And Middlesex certainly plays a major role in that. I had the opportunity to have a conversation with Lieutenant Governor Polito over the weekend, and we were discussing other gateway cities in Lowell and some of the things that have happened here, and they use this city as an example all the time, and certainly we benefit from that relationship that we saw this week with the wonderful groundbreaking of the courthouse. So that has worked extremely well. It's great to be in this position, and we're very privileged and honored to be part of that. I'm honored that the governor has appointed me as chairman of the Board of Trustees, and look forward to working very closely with all of you. And again, I'd like to thank you for having us here this evening.
No, we want to thank you for all the work you do. Dr. Mabry, if you look at all our middle schools and our elementary schools and the condition they're in, the newness of them is the reason. Thank you, former city manager Campbell. Thank you. Doctor?
Any questions? Anything
Yes.
I can answer?
Mr. Leahy?
Thank you. I don't really have any questions, but I just have some comments. So I think that, even before I heard this tonight, that the college is such a great asset to the city. And a lot of people don't realize that. So if we can get that word out, and really let people know. I mean, I'm in my college years now, and I have a student going there, and I can see the benefit just in the cost savings, but in the education she's getting and the people she's met. And, I got to tell you, maybe 10 years ago when I was on the school committee, I wasn't so sure, but, I had to educate myself, and it really is a great pathway for a lot of kids. Start out in Lowell, at Lowell High, go to Middlesex, and then choose the college of your choice. And it's a great benefit, and I think more people need to see that. But there's a lot happening in the city, a lot happening at the college, and you got a great team around you, so we really appreciate the work that you do. Thank you.
Council, I'd just like to follow up on that, if I may. We were talking the other day, in the city of Lowell, you can actually go from kindergarten through high school, and possibly through Middlesex to the University of Mass Lowell. So you can go from kindergarten to a doctorate without ever leaving your community. This is a very valuable asset that we have here in the city of Lowell. And where we're geographically located, I'm sure that it's happened by accident or convenience, that we have the university encroaching the downtown on one side, Middlesex encroaching, and the downtown itself. And I know there's been a lot of talk about Lowell being a college community, and all one has to do is look at the geographic setup, and this is a wonderful marketing tool.
Yeah, it really is. Probably the biggest thing, and I've gone through it, is the kids all think when they graduate from high school, they have to go away. So if we could build a dorm for you, that might help. Keep some of the local kids here.
We'll talk.
But you know what I mean? They feel like they need to get away, but then they realize they didn't have to get away. So, but you really have a great asset here, so. Thank you.
Just, and quickly, I will build upon that, but what the chairman said about dual enrollment, it's massive. It's so powerful. What you've done with that is incredible. I think, please continue it. It's something I think that has been a major asset for the high school. I think you're doing for Greater Lowell Technical High School as well. Maybe even Lowell, I don't know if you do it for Lowell Catholic. If you are, fantastic. If you're not, please do it. I think it's an asset to the city. It's a positive thing holistically. The bridge program. I mean, I don't know how many years we've had the bridge program. I was on the school committee as well. It's a very good program. It says here it ended in 2016. Hopefully that's a misprint, but you did an excellent job with that. And I think the relationships, I'm sorry.
It didn't end, but the Lowell Public Schools took it over.
Okay. Well, you guys did a good job when you were there, like really leading the
Yes.
foundation of it, and I was very impressed with it. I think the relationships, when I was on the school committee, it was impressive how intertwined Middlesex Community College was with the Lowell Public Schools. At some point, it almost became, they're almost the same place, which I think is what you are articulating, which so many people have said. You can go from kindergarten to PhD in between. Middlesex Community College, I think a lot of people do know about you. You are a workhorse. It's not a show horse, although the federal building and with your new building coming in, you'll have some examples of that as well. But you have been a very strong, stable part of our community, and I'm glad you took the time to come here tonight, and I'm very, very appreciative for past efforts of your staff. You got an excellent staff right here that have done an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council Milonazo?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, thank you for being here this evening, and it was a very thoughtful and impressive presentation, so thank you all very much. I had the good fortune to be the executive director of the Lowell plan when Middlesex Community College came to Lowell. And I remember the banner across Merrimack Street welcoming the community college. And in my wildest dreams, I never thought we'd be sitting here this evening listening to the impact that this community college has had, not only on the city of Lowell, but the overall region. And again, I just want to publicly thank you for your input on the Working Cities Grant. I think when Middlesex Community College gets involved in a project, they bring the breadth and depth of their knowledge and resources to the table, and it really does make a difference. As the Chairman Campbell indicated, that when he goes around the Commonwealth and talks about other gateway cities, Lowell is always pointed to as an example. And it's partly because of Middlesex Community College and what you've been able to do. And I've had nieces and nephews go through Middlesex Community College, and they truly have turned their lives around. And again, I think just listening to this presentation, and all of it, from the standpoint of the challenge that you have now with your budget and whatever the community can do to support that, we certainly will do. But the overall impact that you've had in this city is really second to none. So really, on behalf of the business community, when I was involved back in 1986, it's really been remarkable. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're also joined by Councilor Elliott and Councilor Belanger. Councilor Elliott, do you have anything? Councilor Belanger, you all set? Okay. Thank you, Councilor Mercia. Well, Dr. Mabry and your staff, thank you for a great presentation. I think, sometimes it's really hard to realize how important a presentation like this is, because there are many people in Lowell that do watch this program, watch, what we do, but the purpose of many of our subcommittees really is to provide as much information as we can to our constituency. And a program like this tonight is very important because the work that you do is very important. I mean, as former City Manager Campbell stated, Lowell seems to do it right, and the only reason why we do it right is because of so many people and so many programs that even people like yourself who are new to the city, I think what happens is that you do become believers and you just help us to take it to the next level, and that's what I believe you're doing. So I want to thank you and your staff for a great presentation, for coming here before us tonight. Anything else? All right, a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
Thank you.